Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Port Angeles. I'm Reverend Asha Burson-Johnson on a beautiful spring evening. We are here together 6 feet apart, Catherine and I, and Mom and Larry, who live here on the property, so they're allowed to be here. We're grateful to have you that are joining us on Zoom, and I'm going to be putting this on Facebook tomorrow. So people that normally join us on Thursday nights can join us on Fridays. We were having some issues with Facebook Live, being kind of stuttery, so we're going to see if this works any better. I'll invite your feedback when we're done. I'll stop the recording so everything you say will be private. And again, we're just playing with this new technology and so grateful that we have this available technology so we can be together and reconnect with each other once again. Take a breath. We have no announcements other than we're back. And every Thursday evening, we will gather in this space and talk about whatever wants to be talked about. I will do Monday meditations. I may decide to do those on Zoom because my last Facebook Live didn't come out very clear. So I'm going to play with this technology until we get it right. So I'm grateful for that. Those of you that are present, that are here, I invite you to read our vision and our mission as we do every single week. And what I might do to the rest of you is next Wednesday Wisdom, I might send out the program so that you can print it out for yourself and have it with you on Thursday gathering next week. Our vision. We are an open, safe, creative, affirming, and thriving spiritual community where we experience divine love and connection every day. Our mission. Through spiritual, artistic, and social gatherings, we experience and express divine love. Our intentions create ripples of compassion into the world. Our opening song is a new one for you. It's called "This Place is Sacred." The song came to us via a friend of mine, Kate Sheffield, that I used to drive to doctor's appointments every week. And one day in the car, she said these words, and they just really resonated with me. And I scribbled them down on a piece of paper. And then, gosh, it's been probably 3 years now. I found them in a pile of stuff when Catherine and I were going through some music. And I said, we should make this into a song. And probably within an hour, we had this song figured out. So this is a new song called "This Place is Sacred." We're talking about this place, this planet, and this place right here, wherever we are. So just listen, enjoy, and you'll have words to sing along to next week. This place is sacred. This place is sacred. This place is where the breath of God has come to be. This place is sacred. This place is sacred. This place is sacred. This place is where the breath of God has come to be. This place is sacred. Look in the waters, look in the skies, look in the land and come to realize this place is sacred. This place is sacred. This place is sacred. This place is where the breath of God has come to be. This place is sacred. Look in the mirror. Look in your eyes. Look in my eyes and come to realize this place is sacred. Look into my eyes, know this space sacred. Look into my eyes, know this space sacred. Look into my eyes, know this space sacred. Look into
into my eyes. Know this space sacred. This place is sacred. This place is sacred. This place is where the breath of God has come to be. This place is sacred. This place is sacred. This place is sacred. This place is where the breath of God has come to be. This place is sacred. Look into my eyes, know this space sacred. Look into my eyes, know this space sacred. Look into my eyes, know this space sacred. Look into my eyes, look into my eyes, look into my eyes.
Thank you, Catherine. I invite up Reverend Dr. Clancy Blakemore for our opening reading, a brief time of silence that I will bring out with our crystal bowl. She'll give us a beautiful prayer and then invite us into the affirmation that's in our program.
The reading is from Pema Chodron. Sticking with uncertainty, getting the knack of relaxing in the midst of chaos, learning not to panic. This is the spiritual path. As we are living, we are walking that spiritual path because it's always spirit present everywhere. Breathing in and remembering that is the ultimate truth, then I can accept for each one of us that spirit is here now, this very moment, always available, always, always spirit here. And from this place of knowing, I know that we are each walking the walk of trust, in light, in love, in peace, in joy. This is the path. When we wander from it, we return to it again, claiming that ultimate truth. And for this, I am so grateful. I can just release it all. I can hand everything over to spirit and just say, I know this is so, and so it is. And so it is. The affirmation states, is it good? Maybe. Is it bad? Maybe. May I be grounded, be filled with trust, and be the peace of spirit either way.
Thank you. Feels weird not to have my podium. I know, but the other one's so tall. Feels too tall for this space. So maybe, that's the word that just kept popping into my head. It's May, so that works. I love the word play. May we be. May we discover how to be in this time. We don't have a lot of choice. A lot of us, this is all we get to do, is just be. There's not a lot of doing this. We could get caught up in doing this. A lot of people are learning French or learning how to play the piano or all kinds of things. And so many of us are discovering that it's not in the doingness, but in the beingness that we can find some peace, that we can reconnect with who we really are. I got very caught at the end of March, beginning of April, in my value and my worth in what it is that I do. And I wasn't able to do what I feel I'm here to do. And I got completely caught, which is why I said, I'm taking a sabbatical. I knew enough to know that I needed to step back, to empty out, to get rid of, to feel, to deal with all the shadows that are arising. And we're seeing this again all over the world. A lot of people's shadows, our own shadows, are coming up to be examined, to be looked at, and to be chosen. Do I want to keep this pattern going? Do I want to move through it? Can I just love it and acknowledge it and let it be in this moment and move forward? Continue to move forward. After I started to climb out of the hole, I always say that I'm a buoyant person. I like the word buoyancy because it reminds me that I might be in this bubble and that I might sink to the bottom of the pond, but eventually the buoyant nature of myself, the buoyant nature of most of us, is that we will rise back up again. So end of March, beginning of April, I was in the bottom of the pond, stuck in the mud, and I never thought I could move out of there. Anybody else have that? You can just raise your hand or wave. Yeah, we get stuck, and we think it's always going to be this way. It's never going to change. And that's never the case. So about a week, 2 weeks in, I said, okay, I just have to do something that I love to do, something creative. So I started taking the keyboard into the glass house and recording some of my songs and being brave and stepping outside of my critical voice that said, well, it's not a professional recording, it's not perfect. And I just put some of those on Facebook. I got back into making some little movies on Movie Maker program. I dove into some creativity for myself. I knew that was something I could do and that it gave me joy. I kept going back to the question, what brings me joy? And seek that in this time. Stop fashing about what I can't do and focus on what brings me joy and what can I do. I was talking with a lovely person today, and I've been using this a lot for myself and for others, this idea of it's very easy to get caught in what's impossible. It's never going to work, it's impossible. And I love that when I separate that word, it becomes I'm possible. Within the impossible, I'm possible. Within every problem is the solution. Within every challenge is a possibility for something else to happen. So I'm going to be using a lot of information from the book Improv Wisdom this month because I'm finding for myself that it's giving me a way to move forward with some lightness and some joy and some gratitude. Many of you have seen that I've posted my new favorite word, which is griefitude, that experience of being in grief and gratitude at exactly the same time. Grieving for what is lost or what we can't do right now, or those people we can't hug or be in touch with, or all the many impossibilities that seem to be happening right now. And gratitude that we're here, we're alive, we're breathing. We live in, most of us, in this beautiful place where we can go out and see something beautiful, get a different point of view, shake things up a little. How grateful I am for that. So we get to experience all of it. The very, very first chapter in the book is called The Rule of Yes. And I've talked about this a lot, the yes and of life. It's a rule that I learned in improvisation a long time ago, and it really serves us in this particular time. So I'm just going to read a couple of paragraphs because they're too good for me to try to paraphrase. This was written, oh gosh, a long time ago. Let's see if I can even find the writing. I apologize for not having that in advance. Let's see if I can find a date. 2005. I can't remember a time in history when the need for optimism and affirmation has been greater. How prescient. In an article that examined how prevailing film sensibilities portrayed the question of individuality across the screen in the last century, San Francisco Chronicle critic Mike LaSalle made this shocking claim. American movies in 2004 are more cynical and despairing than ever before. Their implicit message, people are garbage and the world is terrifying. Negative images surround us. Unimaginable horrors are now part of our collective unconscious. With the rule of yes, we call upon our capacity to envision, to create new and positive images. This yes invites us to find out what is right about the situation, what is good about the office, the offer, what is worthy in the proposal. Exercising the yes muscle builds optimism. However, we sensibly understand that the practice of affirmation is not a guarantee of outcomes. Saying yes to life will not banish problems or promise eternal success. A positive perspective is a constructive one, however, and it is easier on those around us. So yes, and says yes to whatever's happening, and now what do I want to do? Yes, and what other information can I gather? What other information can I use to move myself forward? Yes, and acknowledges what is. It doesn't negate it or try to push it away or do spiritual bypass. Oh, it's fine, la la la, everything's okay. It acknowledges what is. I feel sad, I'm terrified, I'm upset for no reason, I'm mad as heck, and I can't take it anymore. Whatever it is that's going on, I'm depressed, I'm lethargic, I'm tired, I feel fine. All of these states are what is for many of us. And can we just acknowledge that? Say, yes, that's what's happening in me right now. And. Yes, and. The second chapter says, don't prepare. I am a person who likes to prepare. I am a person who likes to manage, organize, and handle my life. And everything good in my life has never come from preparation, managing, handling, or organizing, although organizing helps me live. So don't prepare is again about being in the present moment, being available to what wants to happen right now. This particular chapter spoke to me because when I do my talks, I'm going to show you what my talks look like. Coming into the camera. Little simple lines and scribbles and words and page numbers. It's very loose. I found for me, what works best is to be here now. I might have written it, that talk. Some ministers write their talk early in the week or the day before they do their talk. I don't know what's happening tomorrow. I need to respond to what's happening tomorrow. I might have prepared a fabulous talk and then we get shut down as a country. Now what am I going to talk about? So can we be responsive to the moment? What is this moment asking for? I've learned a while ago for myself that a little voice will come in and say, talk about this now, or tie this together, or use this little piece of information. And when I pay attention to that, it usually takes me down an unexpected and often perfect road. So don't prepare. And they talk about preparing is really an illusion. Let's see if I can find that page. See, I'm coming back to something I didn't even think about. They're saying No one is saying no, don't do open heart surgery without preparing. She's not saying that. That made me laugh. But it talks about the fear that comes if we don't prepare what's going to happen. What is the improv fix for sweaty palms and a frozen mind? Often we feel frozen. When we're afraid, when things are overwhelming. When I had my crash, I felt frozen and terrified that life wasn't going to unfold the way I wanted it to. So what is the improv fix for sweaty palms and a frozen mind? First of all, don't believe the voice that tells you you can't do anything. The notion that you are actually paralyzed by fear is a lie. You can move. You can change what you're doing. If you're standing, try sitting. If you're sitting, move around. Redirect your attention from the symptoms to something constructive. Don't fight the fear or attend to it. I like that line. That simply fuels it. Notice and accept whatever you feel and turn your attention to doing something useful. If tears fill your eyes, wipe them with a tissue. Look over your notes. Focus on the sheet music. Stir the paints. See who is in the audience. Name them or learn their names if you can. Notice what each is wearing. Look around and see what others are doing. Ask someone a question. Count the number of people who are helping and supporting you. Consider their contributions. Observe the room, its furnishings, the lighting sources, your materials. Breathe consciously. Smile, laugh, keep moving. When we are afraid and we get paralyzed, there's always something we can do. We can count to 10. We can look around and notice 3 colors that I see right now. I talked a bit about the resilience practices that and then everything went to hell. Just as I started to talk about resilience, everything went to hell in a handbasket, which is perfect. We got lots of practice. If you want that handout, I can resend it. Let me know later. There's some great practices in there. We can realize the feeling that we are paralyzed by fear, and then we can acknowledge it, say, yes, I feel paralyzed. What's one thing I can do? I love the simplicity of if you're sitting, stand up. If you're standing, sit down. Shift your perspective. Look at something new. Look at something with one eye. Look at something upside down. Change our view. She says in the book, fear is misplaced attention. Fear means we're focusing on what we can't do instead of what we can. Attend to what is happening now. Fear usually, often, takes us into the past. It never worked before, so it's never going to work now. Or it takes us into the future. My future doesn't look possible. It looks bleak. It looks scary, often because of our past. But that takes us right out of this moment. What's actually happening in this moment? Attend to that. The 4th maxim is start anywhere. I like this too. Start anywhere. All starting points are equally valid. When we start a project, we think about a project, when we think about something we want to do, often my husband looks at the end. He sees the whole, which is weird because often we say that men see the details and women see the big picture. My husband likes to jump to the end of what's going to happen when all these things happen. And I'm a person who wants to go, whoa, 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 back up. First we have to do this, and then we have to do that, and then we need to go this. And often we waste a lot of time trying to figure out what's the right and perfect first step. There is no right and perfect first step. Do something. Do anything. All starting points are equally valid. In improvisation, when a scene starts, nobody knows what the first person is going to say. They don't know what they're going to say. And you don't know in the beginning of a scene how long these people have known each other or where they are in the conversation. It might be the middle of a conversation. It might be the end or the beginning of a conversation. We don't know. All starting points are equally valid. There's my page. It's called the first thought method. Start anywhere. Don't hesitate. With the first thought method, it is as if the idea selects you rather than the other way around. I really like that viewpoint. When you start with what pops in, it's as if the idea has selected you instead of you trying to grasp around for the right idea. The improviser focuses on making that idea into a good one rather than searching for a good idea. Does that make sense? So we get an idea and we go, oh, I'm going to work with that. Again, in improvisation, that's the yes and. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How could I do that?
How could you do what?
Well, just start somewhere.
Well, you could just come in and you could just start having a conversation with somebody out of the blue, just like that.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. Just like that. We never know what's going to happen. Did you notice what color shirt she had on? Were you paying attention to what was happening in that moment? So whatever ideas pop in, can we make that a good idea? Instead of searching around for the perfect idea or the best idea or the perfect place to start. Can we just begin? That's where we are right now at the beginning of May. We're beginning again. We're starting where we are. We have Catherine, we have Michael. He'll be joining us throughout the month for music. Sometimes they'll be separate, sometimes they'll be together. We're starting with what we have. Zoom, Facebook, technology, a living room, a space to be. We're starting where we are. Starting anew. Starting with some new idea that isn't even formed yet, that's making its way through us as a community, our Center for Spiritual Living community, our community of Clallam County, our community of the world. We don't even know what it is yet. We're just discovering. And can we make this idea that's happening now a good one? We get to choose. There's a lot of stuff going around on Facebook. I'm flipping even faster these days through my feed. There's conspiracy theories. There's the robots sending out who knows what kind of false information. There's just all kinds of crazy stuff out there. And I had a really interesting conversation with somebody yesterday who was concerned about some of her friends, espousing what she was calling conspiracy theories. And I said, here's where this is my take. What if they're true? What if all the conspiracy theories are true? And there's all these nameless, faceless people out there trying to control our lives and kill us or make us slaves or make us robots or whatever it is that we're going to turn into. What if that's true? How do I want to live my life today? If that's true. Kind of the same way I live my life anyway. If it's true or not true, I'm still going to get up tomorrow, take a walk to the mailbox, connect with people I love, eat some delicious food. I'm going to do the things that I've been doing now to stay grounded, centered, rooted, connected, present, loving, kind, compassionate, whether there's a conspiracy or not. I don't have to believe it. I don't have to not believe it. I don't have to fight it. I don't have to struggle with it. I don't have to do anything except continue to be who I am, who you are. Who you are is a blessing and a gift. I choose not to live in fear every day. That doesn't mean I don't trust God and tie up my camel, as we've talked about a lot. We're staying, aware and conscious of who's coming to the property, how we interact, how much we wash our hands, all the good things to do. And there's this new idea making its way through all of this. I don't know what it's going to be. And I'm curious. One of my other favorite words. I'm curious to see how we're going to be in the after times. And what stories we will tell. Will we tell stories of the horror or the beauty? Or both? Can we express our griefitude in a way that we can be heard and honored and listened to? We will have an opportunity to do that after our gathering tonight. Take a deep breath. I have a very good friend who her house looks like it exploded. She's the most smartest person I know, and her house looks like a bomb went off. And she's been doggedly intending to tidy her house for a very long time. And she has a real hard time getting started because it feels so overwhelming, completely overwhelming. So she's been doing this last step. Start anywhere. Start with the obvious. So she reaches out for whatever's closest to her and goes, where does this go? Where does this belong? Does it go in the trash? Am I giving it away? Am I keeping it? Where does it go? One thing. And then the next closest thing. And the next closest thing. I find myself often, I don't want to fold the laundry. I don't feel like it. I don't want to clean the house. I don't feel like it. And then there's a part of my brain that says, just do it. Just fold one thing and then see what happens. And then I end up folding the laundry.
I challenge yourself to how much time.
Yeah.
And I get it done in 5 minutes.
Clancy does a time thing. Can I get it done in 5 minutes? Whatever works for you. Start somewhere and start with the obvious. What's handy. That's a great way to cook dinner. So, I'm grateful to be back. I'm grateful to be with you. I'm grateful to be here now in this space. This is our time for conscious giving. Most of us put our little gifts into this bowl, and those of you that have been sending them in throughout these couple of months, I'm very grateful. It's helping our center continue and flourish and to be still in a space of wholeness through this time. Got one more. Would you just play a little something? I bless these conscious gifts freely given. I know that we are an abundant universe. I have only to look out the window to see the abundance of God. I have only to feel the weight of this bowl, to know the abundance of Center for Spiritual Living, Port Angeles. I have only to open my eyes and see the beautiful faces on the screen and in this room, to know we are abundant. We are blessed and a blessing. We are a connected community. We are one. And I am so grateful for all this and so much more. I release this giving out into the world where it can do some good. And right here, where it will continue to do good in this community and beyond. And so it is. I glanced down at the program and I saw Baggy Ministry and I went, oh, Baggy Ministry. We haven't had Baggy Ministry for a couple of months. So I'm going to propose that Clancy and I, in the next week or two, do a Baggy Ministry. I'll rope in some of the other people that are here, and we'll put together our usual 20 bags. And if you would like to come over and pick up a few of them, just give me a call. I will make sure they're completely sanitized and clean, and then you can take them out into the world. People need our good ever more than ever before right now. So if that's something you would like, we could talk later. You can email me, send me a text, and just know that in the next couple of weeks, we will have some baggies to put out into the world. Our closing song is Like a Sunbeam by Michael Gregory.
Like a sunbeam to the sun, I am one with God. Like a wave upon the ocean, I am one with God. I am one with God. I am one with God. Like a sunbeam to the sun, I am one with God. Like a wave upon the ocean, I am one with God. I am one with God. I am one with God. Like a sunbeam to the sun, I am one with God. Like a wave upon the ocean, I am one with God. 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 I am one with God.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you. Thank you for singing. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to turn off the recording, and then we can all take a 2-minute bathroom break and then reconvene, and then we can actually chat. I'll turn your mics back on. Thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you join us next week. It's really great to be back and see you all again. I love you. I love you. I love you.